Hey everyone, are you ready to unlock your full potential? Well, in this video, I'll share 3 strategies to master the art of continuous improvement and turn stagnation into success. Get ready to leave behind your old habits as we embrace a new path towards professional and personal development. So let's get into it. So step number 1 is just to set clear goals. You might have heard of SMART goals, so that's about having specific, measurable, actionable goals with a time frame. I think that's amazing. I think being really specific with what you're looking to do is great, but then I would also recommend setting kind of near-term goals and habits and ways of attaining that goal on a day-to-day basis. So it's all very well saying that you're going to achieve certain things, but you need to work out how you're going to achieve it. And there's a famous quote from Atomic Habits which says, even the losers have the same goal. It's about the processes and systems you put in place to achieve that goal. And I never really had goals. I think, looking back, I just kind of, as I said before in one of my other videos, just kind of reacted to what was in front of me. And it wasn't until I took some kind of real kind of solitary time to sit down and reflect and think about what I actually wanted in life. And that was kind of sped up with the birth of my child. And I think I divided my life into like 3 key areas, which was health, wealth, and relationships. And then I thought about how I was actually allocating my time amongst those. And I think that on reflection during my 20s, I was just overweighting relationships with my friends in particular, because I was just going out all the time. The relationship with my partner, obviously, that was going well. So perhaps something that didn't need to change that much. And then also in the health category, while I was doing a lot of exercise, I wasn't necessarily nourishing myself properly or eating right, and I was probably drinking too much, partying too much, not sleeping enough. So once I took that kind of reflection, as I say, health, wealth, relationships, and then on the wealth side, I'd obviously completely prioritized my career. That was a good thing, I guess, but I hadn't necessarily used the money that I'd earned very well. I was just focused on getting the next promotion, getting up the corporate ladder, but wasn't really managing the money that I'd earned very well. So that's something I had to focus on as well. So health, wealth, relationships, completely recalibrated those. On the relationship side, I had to tone down going out with my friends because I had a new baby and the baby kind of took priority. So I made sure that in my relationship goals, I was focusing on, being a great partner and being a great dad, and making sure that I was allocating time in my day. This is about daily habits, so allocating time in my day to make sure I was delivering on those and working towards those objectives. On the health side, I actually toned down the exercise massively because I didn't want to spend too much time working out. I realized that my goal at this point was just to maintain a base level of health and work capacity, as Ross Edgley might say. So I toned that down to 15 minutes and then also started to work in exercise into my daily routine. So I go for walks regularly, long walks with my baby attached to me. I call it dad rocking. Baby weighs about 10 kilos, and if I do about 10,000 steps, that feels like a pretty good workout. And then I also cycle to work, so that's how I pick the health bucket. But then I've also taken time to massively focus in on my diet as well now. So follow the slow carb diet by Tim Ferriss and find that really works well, particularly look forward to those cheat days. So it's a really sustainable diet and would really recommend it. And then on the wealth side, I've just taken the opportunity to kind of really focus on where I'm spending my money, being much more aware because of the baby and because of new financial obligations. I'm having to save a lot more and not being able to spend as much. I basically have much less disposable income, so I'm being a lot more careful with that. So hopefully you can see how you can turn, by setting goals, you can then align your time and make sure you set up daily habits to help you progress towards those goals. That is the way to continuously improve. I guess the other thing I wanted to say about goal setting is it really helps you calibrate where you're spending your time and like where you're applying your effort and energy. So yeah, fine, I was spending loads of time on my career, fine, I was spending loads of time exercising, but I probably wasn't spending enough time on personal and professional development for my career, even though that was actually my primary goal. So I previously mentioned I cut down the time I spent exercising. I'm using the extra time that I was exercising to catch up on current affairs and make sure I'm at the top of my game for my career in the area that I'm working in. That was actually a major recalibration for me as well. So making sure I do that every day helps me progress towards my objectives. So if I didn't set those goals, then I think I would just be acting kind of randomly. It's obviously much less efficient to be doing things kind of sporadically versus towards a specific aim. The next strategy is to cultivate a habit of lifelong learning. So I've spoken about this before, but now this is about how you ensure that you grow every day. Basically, you spend time every day learning or reading, and it doesn't have to be a long time. It can be 10 to 15 minutes of just reading a book, listening to a podcast, watching a YouTube video, going on Skillshare, doing a random class, I think I've just found so much benefit from doing that. In the same way that I train in the gym for my health, I want to train my mind and my kind of knowledge base for my career. So I make sure every day that I do like 10 to 20 minutes of reading around the topic or listening to a podcast of the area that I'm working in. And that is just an incredible way to just stay up to date with things. And the other like benefit I've realized about this is you might have heard of the effect of priming, which is where mentioned in Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman, which is kind of like the Bible of behavioral economics, essentially. Priming is a way of like getting your body and mind ready for a future situation. So if you put information into your mind, advertisers use it all the time, then it will just like come out in the future in a completely random way and you wouldn't expect it. So I find that with this kind of reading time that I take in the morning, so it might be about sustainability because that's where I'm working at the moment. So if I listen to a podcast on sustainable investing in the morning for 20 minutes, I just come out with facts later in the day about sustainability, or I'm just like the most up-to-date person on sustainability just from investing 20 minutes each day. And I apply the same discipline to that as I do with exercise, because there's some times where I don't want to listen to the podcast. There's some days where I'm just like, I just would rather not. But then I think if I just apply the same sort of mindset of I'm training and I shouldn't miss a day, this is all about, cumulative gains and 1% every day. That was actually a new thing for me, like how to apply the kind of exercise training mindset to exercise and training your brain and your knowledge base, and that has been amazing. And yeah, you also get the added kicker of the priming effect, which actually is something I've discovered afterwards. Yeah, so awesome to drop those facts and figures into conversations at work. They make you sound really knowledgeable and just give you extra credibility. So fantastic way. And then the third way is by embracing self-reflection. So I spoke about journaling on here before, really helpful, but I think it's also good at the end of the day. So this is something I installed as well. The habit towards the end of the day basically forces me to reflect on the day. And I think best, better, to be the best. And that keeps it quite simple, but essentially I think about during the day where I've done something really well and something that I'm really proud of. I think of an area where I could have done better. Then I also think about what it would take for me to be the best going forward, based on my own internal kind of compass. And Benjamin Franklin actually did this every day as well. Like he has his 10 or 11 virtues or something which he graded himself against every day. I think just reflecting on the day enables you to kind of see what happened and then learn from potential mistakes or think about where you can improve on the day. And it also gives you a bit of a lift if you have had a good day as well. So yeah, I think that's definitely worth doing. It's something that I've only just started doing recently because I couldn't think of a good way to do it. But I was doing the failure journal only when I had a big failure that I was actually really upset about. So I'd write that down and then obviously you reflect on it. In 5 days, not a big a deal. Reflect on it in 5 months, it's nothing. So daily reflection is just a great way to improve because you're constantly learning and iterating from your mistakes, and it enables you to work out what's going well as well and double down on those. So yeah, reflect every day is another key habit for continuous improvement. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed this video. That was about 3 key ways to continuously improve, and those are things you can directly apply straight away. So we spoke about setting goals, continuous learning and finding time for that every day, and then reflection. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to hear more from me, check out this video here, and I'll see you next time.